Jibber Jabber Season 2 starts now. Hey, everybody! It is Fantasy Football Jibber. I'm going the wrong way. Jibber Jabber. Week 2.
Week 2.
Oh, my God.
Week 2.
Hey, for all those you watch, thank you so much. I hope you liked all of our new additions. I hope you like Kevin Foley, the man out there.
What's up, ladies and gents? Ready for another week to get this money.
You know it. I hope you like Ginger Billy, and I hope you like Black Betty's Pick of the Week. We got all that, and then some. But I want to welcome back my boy, Gerard Harron. Here we are. I'm Kevin Goatee. Week 2. What did we learn from Week 1?
Week 1, I wish I could have taken out a mortgage on that Baltimore
Me
-7.
too.
I would have taken every dollar that I spent on going to college. I wish I would have been able to take out and put on that Baltimore pick. That was going to be a boat race. Like you know, if you were listening last week, you know that we told you that that wasn't going to be within 3 scores, and it ended up not being within 6 scores. So now, here's the question. Do you have the stomach to double down this week with the Pats 20.5?
Maybe I do. Do you know what the money line was? Opening on Monday, I was playing poker at Aria. Money line, we were going down the table guessing what it was. I was exactly 5 points off. Money line for the Patriots against Miami. Minus 1750.
So, for you folks at home that don't know, that
Right.
means that you need to bet $1,750
To win 100.
to win 100.
To win 100. Insane. I agree. I took money out on Baltimore on my booking. I went to Vegas and I threw another 500. I go, why didn't I just go get a credit card advance, pay the 25% and go, here's whatever my limit is, 40 grand. I
Whatever.
know.
You know
But I
what
also learned
they
that
would have never paid it out, though. They would have given you some sort of hedge at the second
Yeah.
quarter that you couldn't have turned away from, like an 80%
I went to
hedge or
another,
something
I
like
was
that.
at another casino then. Screw them.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what you do. I did learn that Kansas City still can score points
Oof.
without Tyreek Hill, and I still can't believe the backup with Minshew, who sounds like he should be on a yacht club.
Good in college last year,
Oh
though.
my
Really
God.
good
They
in
were going
college.
up and down the field. I'm like, oh, backup quarterback, no Tyreek Hill. This under is in the bag.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Yep.
Whoops. But we're going to get in that. But let's go to Kevin Foley Stat Guy to see how we did last week.
Be gentle on us, Kev.
All right,
Week
I'm gonna try to
This is
take it.
gonna hurt.
I'm gonna try to take it as easy as possible, but the truth hurts sometimes, guys. You know how it goes. So, Kevin,
Right.
I'm gonna start with you.
All right, go ahead.
All right, buddy. Cold Cash, a brutal 1 out of 5, my man.
Oh.
Yeah, that one was bad, man. I gotta say, Cold Cash player that stood out to me that really kind of bombed that I thought would do well. Mike Evans, 2.8 points. I gotta say, I was wrong on that one too. Expected a lot more from him. So that
Who
was bad.
didn't, though?
Who didn't?
Raise your hand. Who didn't?
What, Mike
get to-
Evans?
we'll get
The
to
big
you.
fella.
We'll get to you, Gerard. We'll
Yeah.
get to you, Gerard.
Richard Sherman in the house. Richard Sherman scored more points for San Francisco DST than Mike Evans scored.
I mean, how much would you have put on that? You couldn't get me to bet that one if my life depended on it. But now we'll go to Hot Trash. Hot Trash too, Kevin.
Yeah.
2 out of 5. Another brutal pick. I think that the one player that you picked for Hot Trash that really killed, that we both expected not to, T.Y. Hilton. Jacoby Brissett throwing you the ball. You think he's going to be bumming it, but
Again, I
He
told
actually
you,
did
everybody's
not.
hating on Jacoby Brissett.
I need to see
Jacoby
more
Brissett.
from him.
I've been telling you for 2 years I wanted the Giants to trade for Jacoby Brissett last year.
sleepers 0 for 3. Edelman, Singletary, Kerryon Johnson didn't quite work out.
Oof.
The stench of defeat is on me. Oh, I deserve the flag.
But no, not just yet. Now we're in your bread and butter. Now we're where you make your
Yeah.
money. 5 and 3 on the picks.
Yes.
Big time. And the best pick of all, the one that I took, and I appreciate you this. I appreciate this from you.
Yes,
the
sir.
Houston +7.
Yeah,
A lot
that
of
was-
people
that-
didn't
that
call
was not
one,
in danger at
and
all.
That one hit right on the money. So that was perfect. Now, Gerard, you.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, so Gerard, you're kind of impressive here. I got to say, 4 out of 5
Yeah.
on the cold cash picks.
Let's see that.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, money. Dalvin Cook, money. Delaney Walker, money. Emmanuel Sanders, money.
Hey,
the only
and Adam
person that didn't
Thielen-
quite show up,
Adam Thielen also got you over 13.5 points.
Not
okay?
good enough.
Not good enough,
Not good
but
enough,
not
but-
bad at the money. He was the 18th wide
Yeah.
receiver off the board.
Not too great, yeah. But the hot trash, the hot trash, you were 2 out of 5. And the one hot trash player that you did pick was probably the best player in fantasy football this past Sunday.
on everyone's bench,
Watkins.
known to man.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sammy Watkins went off.
If I may, my Delaney Walker pick alone, it negates the stench of the Sammy Watkins one decent game in his career.
All right. Well,
if you listen to me on Delaney Walker, you won every league you had last week. Don't give me that nonsense.
and sleepers, 0 for 5. Guys, we got to hit a sleeper this week. I mean, that's a
sleepers are
combined.
sleepers for a reason,
That's
man.
a combined 0 for 8, though. You got to give me one.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Well, we'll do better this week.
So that's how we're looking on the bets. 2 and 3, not too well. The one pick that was great.
Well,
that
2 and
stood
2
out-
in the NFL. 2 and 2 in the NFL.
Oh, 2 and 2 in the NFL.
And then I had one college football.
you had
pick.
one college football.
Losing
didn't
money
right.
proposition.
But the San Fran pick'em, gotta say that was pretty well, and that's one of your winners. So that did pretty good. But that's where we're at so far, going into week 2 of the NFL fantasy season.
Okay.
Excellent. And hey, let's see. By the way, let's go back to our Black Betties. You know where to find them. Hopefully, we went there last weekend. 6290 Route 35 North, Sayreville, New Jersey. Go sit hi. Go see Tom. Tom's our buddy. And go see all the dancers. Go ask Tom what he thought of the Chappelle show. I liked it. I watched it on the plane to Vegas. Thought it was hilarious. The woman next to me goes, "What the hell are you watching?" I said, "It's a Chappelle special." She goes, "I got to add that to my queue." But more importantly, Black Betties, see some girls shaking their booties, you know? Why not? 6290 Route 35 North, Sayreville, New Jersey. Last week, the Black Betty pick of the week was, as we laughed on air about it, the Bears -3. As I had the Packers +3, you had the under. We scorched that one, an easy 1-0 start to our season.
That's right. By the way, we were just to couch a little bit because my feelings are hurt by Kevin the stat man over there. We did go 4-0 Thursday night. So make sure that in our totals for the year here, all right, make sure that it's updated that on Thursday night last week we went 4-0 on the over-unders and also sitting Aaron Rodgers. So
right. So without further ado, let's go to this week's Black Betty's VIP pick of the week.
Live from the girls' bathroom. Our pick this week is our local Giants, getting 2 points at home. Yes, they were messed last week in Dallas, but they have to be able to beat Buffalo at home or it's going to be a long year. Last week, Eli had 300 yards and Josh Allen had 2 interceptions. Take the better quarterback, the points, and the Giants. You're welcome.
Hey, so that was this week's Black Betty's VIP pick of the week. My mom said if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Her hair was pretty.
I feel very patriotic looking at that. I loved the American motif we have there, and I thought it was very apropos that they shot it in a bathroom because I think that's where that pick belongs. No way can you possibly, after last week's game, see the Giants as a team that you're going to put less than 1 score on. If you want to tease the Giants, you got to tease them. That's fine. You think they're going to bounce back at home against the Bills. That's
Bills,
right. What
yeah,
am I saying?
Bills.
Lions. I'm sorry. I don't know why.
First time
they
they played at Jets last week, so it's a funniest back-to-back road games, but the same stadium. So. Yeah, I agree. I did +2. I mean, they have. Did we not see them getting gashed? Did you not? I mean, and they're airing it out too. Like I said, John Brown, sleeper pick of the year. I love him. I'm starting in one of my leagues. I don't like that pick at all. I think the under could hit. I think it's 42. I don't see the Giants getting their own way, but that +2.
Bills have a good defense.
Yeah,
you want to talk about Sterling Shepard's not playing.
No. He's not ruled out yet. They say he practiced, so he's still in protocol. But
Cody Latimer didn't practice.
Oh, good.
Look, I'm a huge Giant homer. I hope they turn it around, but that pick's too rich for my blood. I think there's better picks out there.
And we'll get to those in just a little bit, but let's see what good old the boy the Bayou, Ginger Billy's got to say this week.
From the backwoods of South Carolina. Kevin is such a Yankee northerner. He just assumes everybody down south comes from one little area in the bayou. He's actually from the backwoods of South Carolina. He's the one, the only, our college football guru, Ginger Billy.
What's going on, y'all? This is Ginger Billy, and I'm back for week 2 of college football. Now, last week I went 2-1, and that's just because Cincinnati choked on me. Ohio State got lucky. But this week I'm going 3-0, baby. The first game of the week, Alabama versus South Carolina. Now, last week, Ryan Halitsky looked good for South Carolina. It looked like he was a quarterback, unlike Jake Bentley. but that's because he's playing Charleston Southern. This week, he's playing Alabama. Alabama's favored by 25.5 points, and I'm taking Alabama and 25.5. The next game I got on the slate, Iowa versus Iowa State. Now, this is a good rivalry here. Iowa is favored by 2 points, but I'm taking Iowa State and 2 points. I think Iowa State's going to get the upset. And last but not least, I got an upset coming. Indiana versus Ohio State. Now, Ohio State is favored by 18 points. But last week they got lucky. This week them Hoosiers is going to take it to them, baby. I got the Hoosiers in 18. God bless y'all. Have yourself a good football weekend. I love you.
And there it is, Ginger Billy's pick of the week. How did he do last week, Gerard?
Actually, well, so here's the catch. Ginger Billy went 2-0 in his quote-unquote real picks, but we didn't give you enough information. It turns out Ginger Billy had a favorite pet badger growing up that was actually ran over by the Ohio State football team bus. So he hates all things Ohio State. So just take whatever Ginger Billy says about Ohio State with just the tiniest little grain of meth, all right? It's, you know, his other 2 picks, spot on. He went 2-0. He won you a lot of money in the Texas game especially. But I'd be careful going with Ginger Billy on anything Ohio State related.
I can't wait to see him call in next week from next year's venue, or next week's venue, which is going to be a junkyard. Guys, if you need an 87 Toyota Tercel windshield, I think he can find one for you. Lickety split. That's good stuff. Good on Ginger Billy. So he had a nice 2-0 weekend last weekend. Let's see what he does this weekend. Let's see. Well, I guess we're talking about giving away some money. We're talking about getting some money. So I guess it's kind of time for some free money. Oh, by the way, we're going to do this a little differently. We're going to save all of our Stone Cold locks for Patreon. And to see those, we have some Patreon tiers we're going to get into a little bit, but just real fast, patreon.com, fantasy football jibber jabber. Look us up. There you can find the information how to see our Stone Cold locks. We're going to give you some games we really like, but not the locks. First pick for me, I got a teaser. I've got 2 teasers this week, as a matter of fact, but the first one, 7-point teaser. We are going to take Houston down to -2 and Detroit up to 9.5. Cluster injuries for the Chargers in Detroit. Derwin James out for the year, as we said. Mike Williams, question mark. Russell Okung, lineman, out. Hunter Henry, tight end, out. Are they going to go dig up Antonio Gates yet one more time? Chargers are 2-4 straight up in Detroit. A West Coast team coming east for a 1 p.m. game that finished playing overtime on Sunday. I like Detroit. I think they're going to do it. The points are there. Detroit plus 9.5. The second leg of the teaser, Houston -2. Houston 11-4 straight up in the last 15. 4-1 straight up against Jacksonville at home. Jacksonville 1-4 against the spread. 2-8 straight up of late. 2-8 straight up versus Houston. 1-4 straight up in Houston. Oh yeah, they've got a backup quarterback. What's his name? Minshew. He's the kid from Washington.
Oh, you mean Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite?
Oh my God, have you seen him? Whatever. We'll get to that later.
I'd be careful with Minshew. He's got a real Case Keenum feel to him,
He
man.
did, yeah. Well,
just enough to beat you.
So it's 7-point teaser to start it off.
Danny Werfel.
Oh my God, Florida.
Danny Werfel.
Pick number 1 is the teaser. Who is your first pick?
My first pick is gonna be the Eagles. -1.5. Now they're in the Dome. They're going down to Atlanta, right?
ATL, shorty.
Going down to Atlanta. Now it's
Shorty.
a completely different team when they're down there. But you have a great team, a great all-around team in the Eagles that really played well in the second half. Going to carry it over to a one-sided team in the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think the Atlanta Falcons, although they have a ton of firepower, I don't think they have enough firepower to win the game. It's essentially a pick 'em. Obviously, the computers think that the Eagles are 2 points better than the Falcons because you get 3 points when you're home. So if it's 1.5 on the road, anything less than 3 on the road is a go for me.
Second, by the way, you forgot to mention no Malik Jackson for the Eagles. Big defensive loss. Second pick, another teaser. Atlanta to plus 7.5 points. I am going to take that. They're not going to lose by a touchdown or more, I'll promise you that. Okay. In the second half are Denver to 8.5 home against the Bears. Atlanta 9-1 straight up in week 2 games. They got embarrassed last week. Now they're home. Yes, they are 2-5 at home of late and 2-7 against the spread of late. I like teasing them up to plus 7.5. They are not going to lose by more than a touchdown. Second pick, Denver up to 8.5 because who knows the Bears better than Vic Fangio, right? Denver 6-0 straight up versus the NFC North. Do you trust Mitch Trubisky in Denver in altitude? I don't. Bears 2-4 straight up against Denver. Bears 4-12 straight up in September. Tease the Broncos up to 8.5. Tease the Falcons up to 7.5. Pick number 2.
Well, my pick number 2 is the Patriots going down to Miami where it's a house of horrors.
You're kidding me.
Every year the Patriots go down there and they give one away. I'm still taking it. As of this morning, it was 19.5. Some books are already having it at 20.5. Now, if you want to be smart, tease this pick with my previous pick. Move Philadelphia down to a 3.5. Take the Patriots then down to a 17.5. I think that's a pretty money teaser right there. But I think the Patriots win it outright by more than 3 scores. The only caveat being, for whatever reason, Miami is Bill Belichick's kryptonite. Who knows why? But I just don't see how a team that had 3 people trying to jump ship, the game wasn't even over, and 3 people called their agent to request a trade. There's not total buy-in. The Patriots are out there running skull sessions. They get Antonio Brown this week. 19.5 is rich in the NFL. I totally get it. 3 scores in the NFL is nuts. I understand. If you want to tease them down to 17.5, I think the Eagles pick I gave you, teasing it up to 3. No difference between 3.5 and 1.5.
Why not tease up Miami to 27.5? They're not going to lose by 4 scores, are they?
They did to Baltimore. They lost by 6 scores.
But here's why I could possibly disagree with that pick, because who left the Patriots to go coach the Dolphins? Brian Flores. Do you think they're going to run it up? He's going to run up against his old guy?
What does Bill Belichick do against every single one of his? I don't think. Check the stat guy. Check this out. I think that not a single one of Bill Belichick's assistants has ever beaten him in the regular season.
I didn't say beat. I'm saying cover.
I understand. I think that.
Patricia beat him last year.
Yes,
but okay, so then that's how I know the stat. He's the first one to ever do it, right?
I want ATS numbers if you can. All right, cool. That's good. All right, I don't like laying that much wood. I mean, I'm scared, and I agree.
It's tough.
I took.
But you got Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I know.
With no offensive line.
All right. Pick number 3, and this is why I hate bookies. I got the Cleveland Browns this morning at -3. The second that Darnold was announced that he was caught licking a pole in the subway. He has mono. So it's now -6.5. I don't care. Jets are 2-8-1 in their last 11 and 1-10 straight up of late. Jets 4-11-1 against the AFC Central. 6-9 under versus Cleveland. 6 out of 9 in September under, and 4 out of 6 under on a Monday. You may want to take that under. I think it was 45 last I saw. But I think 6.5 is going to be easy. I really don't think that Baker Mayfield, after getting embarrassed, is going to lose to a Jet team who's still without two linebackers and a suspended tight end, and now no quarterback. Who is it now? Paxton Lynch?
No.
Trevor Siemian.
No concern at all that Greg Williams knows the Cleveland offense inside and out?
A little bit, but they have a lot of new guys in. Well, they have OBJ in there too. I think a little bit of concern, but I mean, this is going to be a stinkeroo, but can they win by 6.5? I think so. I loved it at 3. 6.5, I'm still liking it. Pick number 3.
Pick number 3 for me is Cincinnati.
Debate about this one.
Cincinnati -1.5. Cincinnati. Now, this is where watching the game is different than watching fantasy, and you're going to hear what I feel about John Ross and how everybody's all over John Ross later. But Andy Dalton threw 4 balls up that should have been not only picked, but pick 6.
Especially that last one at the half, which screwed me on my teaser.
Yeah, they didn't.
Oh.
They did not. He got away with stuff that in a normal NFL. Now, this is, again, I've said this, if you saw us in the preseason warm-ups, you've heard me say this. These first 3 weeks of the NFL are going to be what typically would have been preseason football in years past. This is very sloppy football. You're seeing missed tackles, you're seeing missed throws, you're seeing mistimed. Cincinnati was the beneficiary of a lot of that. But I think 1.5, you got back-to-back road games, cross-country road games for San Francisco. It's basically a pick 'em at 1.5. I like Cincinnati.
Joe Mixon being out doesn't hurt that at all.
Is he out? Yeah,
be out. It hasn't been officially. He's still questionable, but it hasn't been official. Joe Mixon.
Yeah, He was a non-factor in Week 1.
Okay.
Yuck. All right, so that's it for free money. And again, go to patreon.com, fantasy football jibber jabber. Look us up there. If you want information how to get the real locks of the week, and I have on this sheet here 1, 2, 3, 4 more picks. I love Patreon.com, fantasy football.
You're not going to be able to get them because maybe we'll be able to say it when we go live, but I cannot tell you how much I love tonight's first half under and 24.5 first half under Tampa, Carolina.
Interesting. All right. It's now time for those cold cash picks of the week. I hated him last week and I love him this week. Matt Ryan, $6,100 on FanDuel. Matt Ryan looked like Meg Ryan for 3 quarters. And he picked apart the Vikes defense for 302 touchdowns in prevent defense time. Falcons are home against a team home against a team that almost lost to Case Keenum that threw for 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. Matt Ryan has 15 INTs less at home than on the road and a higher yards per attempt as well. Matt Ryan is going to cruise like a closeted homosexual dad late night in Central Park this week. Matt Ryan, $6,100. Lock of the week.
Tom Brady.
The guy we hated.
I called
hate.
I won you a lot of money with over 40 points last week with Lamar Jackson going up against this decrepit Dolphins organization. This week, Tom Brady goes up against. Now, you're saying we hated Tom Brady all last year, and Tom Brady's one of the people that I faded early in the year. Let me tell you why. I'm not fading Tom Brady anymore. He completed 3 passes of over 30 yards in week 1 against the Steelers. Do you know how many passes of over 30 yards he completed in the 18-19 campaign?
2.
5. He completed 5 the entire year. Last week, he completed 3. I love Tom Brady. They're throwing the ball all over the place. They're throwing the ball to James White out of the backfield. Love James White. Love Tom Brady. My only issue with Tom Brady this week is that they're going to be up by 50 in the third quarter, and he may sit it out.
That's why I'm not in love with that pick.
Well, we'll see. But I don't think Bill Belichick's a take the foot off the gas type of guy. I think Tom Brady is the lock of the week.
Running back, cold cash player of the week, Austin Eckler, $6,100. Did you see that Detroit-Arizona game? Either A, you must have a lot of money on that because you'd have to pay for your daughter's recital and all that nonsense I don't want to do in 15 years. Or B, you were part of a Groupon deal where you actually had to be there in person for $18. But you know what I did see? I did see David Johnson all over that Lions defense for 22 fantasy points. That's what I saw. Eckler decided to deep pants the Colts defense for 38 points. I had him. No reach around. Chargers earned frequent flyer miles the hard way by having to go to Detroit, where they can take a nice photo next to the Axel Foley statue covered in graffiti. I love Austin Eckler this week in Detroit, but I still have Detroit plus the points. I don't know how that makes sense, but it's going to. Running back, cold cash pick, please, sir.
Running back, cold cash. I am a believer after week 1. Give me some of that Josh Jacobs, sweet Josh Jacobs. Workhorse Josh Jacobs. Now, if you know me, you know that I'm always looking for precedence. When you see somebody that fits into an offense that previously fit in, and I see so much Warwick Dunn in Josh Jacobs and John Gruden's offense. Early 2000s, Warwick Dunn, handling the ball on the outside, throwing the ball, tons of usage, 25 touches a game. Now, you don't have to worry about John Gruden wanting to do what Pat Shurmur did with Barkley last week, and let's make sure that he's healthy. Give him 14 touches, even though he averaged over 10 yards.
And his first run was 55 yards.
14 touches. Josh Jacobs, you're not going to have to worry about that. Gruden mentioned after the game how the kid's got so much tread on his tires because he was underutilized in Alabama. That tells me that they're going to rock it till the wheels fall off. I absolutely love Josh Jacobs this week going up against Kansas City. A lot of chance for garbage time yardage against Kansas City. We saw it all year last year. We're going to see it again. If they get out in front, they're going to do dump-offs. This kid's going to have 8 catches, 60 yards in the fourth quarter alone.
And I love for my wide receiver cold cash choice of the week, I love his teammate Tyrell Williams, $5,500, an absolute blue light special. He had 24 points against a pretty good Denver defense. Now he's at home again, facing the 29th ranked defense, especially one that was gashed by one Gardner Minshew. With a name like that, he should be on a yacht club or a rowing crew or own a craft brewery. How about that? That mustache does scream mixologist, right? An annoying one from Williamsburg. Chief defenders who will be covering Tyrell Williams will be Charvarius Ward and Breshad Breeland.
All right. Now, Kevin's going to love this one. My Cold Cash wide receiver of the week going up against the worst secondary the New York Giants have ever put together. It is John Brown from Buffalo. They have a quarterback that does one of two things. It's like the 1950s all over again with Sonny Jurgensen. He runs for 10 yards or he throws the ball 60 yards up in the air. All it's going to take, you're going to sit there nail biting all week long as you take my Cold Cash wide receiver of the week, and he's going to have no catches heading into half. You're going to be like, you screwed me, big guy. You screwed me. Then he's going to catch one ball for 60 yards coming out of the half. Then he's going to catch another ball for 55 to start the fourth quarter. And then he's going to ice it with his second touchdown of the game for 35 yards in the fourth quarter. When you have big plays like this, it's not Adam Thielen. You're not going to get the slow drip. You're not going to get 10-yard slant, 10-yard out. He's not going to move the chains. You're going to wait all game long for him to get in behind 35-year-old Antoine Bethea, and he's going to do it. And he's probably going to do it 2 or 3 times. If Dallas showed anything, Dallas could have ran 600 passing yards up on the Giants last week if they didn't pull the brakes. I see the same exact type of situation happening here. There's no new personnel coming in for the Giants. John Brown, they have nobody that can cover him, and you have maybe the biggest arm in the league behind center for the Buffalo Bills.
Tight end Cold Cash player for this crowd, Mark Andrews. Again, another bargain basement deal. Luke Hawkinson destroyed Arizona last week. Are you going to throw the flag before you my handicap, you SOB? He destroyed Arizona last week like Arizona State graduates destroyed their parents' hope for a GPA higher than 2.2. Mark Andrews had over 100 yards and a touchdown against the Dolphins. Baltimore home against Arizona at 1 p.m. All these things adding up for a big day for Andrews. You know what didn't add up? A 2-hour and 45-minute version of It Part 2. Did not. Brevity is the soul of wit, guys. That's why this episode is going to be 45 minutes this week. Love Mark Andrews. How are you throwing the flag on that? They're going to destroy them.
My pick was Mark Andrews. I'm throwing the flag. My pick was Mark Andrews, but he's $500 more expensive than he was last week. So that's a big, big jump. You need to have the same kind of production that he had last week to justify $6,100 at a tight end position. If you don't have that money to spend and you decided to spend it on higher end talent, I would go with Tyler Eifert. Made it out of the game. 4 quarters unscathed.
2 in a row.
That means that you've got a whole other 3 quarters worth of Tyler Eifert, and you have a team in San Francisco that's coming across the country again. They're playing Cincinnati on the road again, and they have a 3-4 system that has 2 pass rushing defensive ends. A lot of food to eat for Tyler Eifert out there.
Flex Cold Cash player of the week, Devin Singletary. Rusty Zeke, sounds like a sex act in San Francisco. Rusty Zeke had 12.5 points against the Giants last week, fantasy. Singletary had 11.5 points against a decent Jets D, but he also had 17.5 yards per carry. Frank Gore's an afterthought, much like Tipper Gore. Remember when she put those stickers on those rap albums? Of course. Horrible woman. Who does that? No one. Stop that. Singletary gets the Giants this week, and I have more faith in the eventual Orlando Bloom-Katy Perry marriage than I do the Giants defense, all right? Katy Perry also too chatty for a dude with plenty of options and a huge hog. I give this marriage 4.5 years. Any bets?
Katy Perry went from a first-round draft pick to an absolute fade in like a 3-year period of time.
Supplemental draft.
I don't even know. She's like the Justin Blackman of pop stars. So I was really high on her in the draft, and then there's been too many things. Hopefully, Justin Blackman, I'd like to see him pop up in the XFL. He was a very, very talented individual.
His brother Charlie Blackman's killing it for the Colorado Rockies.
Is it? No,
not at all.
I was good.
You never made that up.
You never do know.
Totally made that up. Go ahead. Your flex player.
My flex player is one of the most unheralded players in the entire league. He had a coming out party against the decrepit New York Giants that we talked about. He's playing the role that everybody thought Terrence Williams would play, but he sucked. And we're finding out now that Terrence Williams did, in fact, suck. He was the Ruben Randall of Dallas. One and only Michael Gallup. Incredibly fast, great route runner, good hands, and now he plays in a system that's going to give him some. You have a lot of options out there in Dallas. That's the only thing that scares you a little bit, but Michael Gallup is their big play wide receiver, and I like him in this game.
So that leads up to our next segment. But before we do that, let's talk again, Patreon.com. What are we offering for Patreon.com? What can you, and again, the money we're going to use that you're going to give us, hopefully, is we're just going to try and boost our social media presence so we get more followers like you out there. And here's what we're offering.
Kevin's running a telethon over here.
I am, right? Oh, he has a big tote board and Jerry Lewis singing some songs.
The people know how Patreon works, Kevin.
No, here's what we're offering.
Problem with Kevin, folks, for those that don't know, is he looks like he's 24 years old, but he's actually, you're not going to believe it, 65 years old.
know,
so
right?
you don't know. This is why he doesn't know that you know how Patreon works. But tell them anyway, Kev.
I drink the blood of runaways. It's tasty. $25 gets you in contact with us, and we will do your lineup for you or your daily fantasy lineup for you. $25.
Throw in an extra 5, I'll do it nude. Throw in an extra 10, and I'll do it with clothes on.
It's actually good. True story? $50. Video access. You get access to our cold cash videos that we're going to save for Patreon members. $100. You get to sit in studio. You get to sit next to Kevin the Stat Guy and caressing and play with his earlobes as he gives out our high numbers. You get to plug whatever you want. You also get to ask us questions on the air whenever you want, and we'll also do your lineup for you and give you the cold cash videos. So $25, $50, and $100 on Patreon.com. Fantasy Football Jibber Jabber, which leads us now to our Hot Trash!
Bang, bang, bang!
Oh, boy. Tastes so good, I don't have a problem.
Now, I'm trying, just to give you a heads up, I'm trying to go really, really, really hot trash. We're not being safe about this at all right? So when you take a look at the fact that we missed hot trash in week 1, I do want to give a little caveat. Last year, we went with some pretty safe hot trash picks. That, these were people that were at the bottom of your roster anyway. This week, I'm trying to give you people that I think are going to bust. Definitely people that are in your starting lineup. If we miss, we miss. But I think that these are the major busts that you have starting in your lineup right now. So we're going high end with our hot trash.
Hot trash pick for me, $6,200. Russell Wilson. This virginity keeper kept me from hitting my teaser last week, as he couldn't even throw for over 200 yards against goddamn Cincinnati. I mean, those people put cinnamon in their chili. Can you fathom that?
Yeah, Skyline Chili's.
Oh, it's gross.
Yeah.
Now, add this to the recipe. The Steelers just got embarrassed on national TV against the Pats. Had the under. You're welcome. I mean, they got more embarrassed than the studio head who greenlit that last Rebel Wilson film. That's how embarrassed they got. The Steelers D will hunker down at home. Avoid Russ Wilson like Ciara did until their wedding night.
All right. Well, then we definitely are looking at the under in that game, because my hot trash quarterback of the week is Big Ben at home.
No!
I know. Big Ben at home. Everybody loves him. Big Ben at home. That was a stale-looking offense. That was a stale-looking offense that gave up. Now, the biggest thing that scares me, and Big Ben is my sleeper of the year. My Big Ben, the problem is Juju Smith-Schuster injured. Okay,
questionable, gonna play,
but injured. Okay, good Seattle defense. Not a great secondary anymore, but good Seattle pass rush. Big Ben did not look like he could move at all. Big Ben for the first time. I'm a big Ben guy. He was just stagnant. It was like the last days of Marino.
They stink in Foxborough.
Understood, and they're great at home. I get it, but Big Ben, let me tell you this: if Juju is not 100%. This is going to be a real tough task for Big Ben. You know what's weird? They don't throw the ball to the backs as much with Connor that they did with Le'Veon Bell. Such a huge part of that offense was running Antonio Brown down the field, taking a safety and a cornerback with him, and then dumping it off behind the pass rushers to Le'Veon Bell and having him scamper for 15 yards. They have that with Connor. They just didn't break it out last week.
I think Belichick had him all out of sorts last week. I think they answer the bell this week. I'm not going to take the over. No, I am not, but I definitely... Oh, never mind. I think Ben, I do not like that pick. I think Ben's going to have a good week. Not a trash week for sure, but definitely an average, maybe above average week. Cold hot trash, running back player for $4,300. Kenyon Drake. The Saw films had happier endings than that Dolphins game against the Ravens last week. Kenyon Drake had 3 whopping points, which makes me think that Captain Francis Drake would have had more points if he wasn't dead for 423 years. Google that.
Sir Francis Drake.
Very true. And now they face a Patriots team that looks as unstoppable as a 24-year-old Peter North. You pouring that one. Pats D slapped on Pittsburgh like Tommy Lee slapped on Pamela Anderson. Yeah, exactly how you think he did. Now, what do you think they're going to do to Miami? We all know the Pats have trouble with Miami, but not this year. Avoid the Dolphins because they've been known to sexually assault humans.
I like Dolphins. So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Boom. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Read it. The movie was terrible.
Let's stay in Florida for a hot trash running back, but let's just head hot trash north to the trashiest part of the trashiest state, where we're going to sit Leonard Fournette of Jacksonville this week. We have who as quarterback? Gardner Minshew. And he looked okay.
Smalling, get your foot off the boat.
He looked okay. Gardner looked okay.
He looked great, actually.
He looked okay. Everybody always looks good when the defense doesn't have a chance to game plan for you. It's like when when people come up in September, their September call-up, and they see nothing but fastballs and they hit home runs. Everybody's like, why is this guy in the minor leagues all the time? And then they start mixing in some breaking balls.
Oh, a slider would be good here. A change-up maybe there,
and
too.
The next thing you know, Shane Spencer's ordering dumplings in Tokyo.
So Shane Spencer, he's a drunk, by the way.
Oh, well, he's okay. He's okay by me. Good ball player. But listen, Leonard Fournette, he's still the 7th highest priced running back off the board. He ran for 60 yards last week. Fade him. I need to see.
They're in
something.
Houston, by the way.
I know. They're in Houston. They're playing against. Now, Houston's defense, you've got J.J. Watt, you got Whitney Merciless. Very strong defense. They're stronger against the run than they are against the pass. Even Alvin Kamara, who I think is the best running back in football, had to grind out his points last week. I just don't see it out of Leonard Fournette. He's 7th highest pick right now, so 7th highest price pick right now. You have better options on the board for the money.
Wide receiver, hot trash, Emmanuel Sanders. What did the Bears do to Devontae Adams? 36 yards. I know I have him. He's a top-flight receiver. What do you think the Bears are going to do with 10 days off to think about that loss? What do you think with the Broncos, who just got outclassed by the Raiders defense? Joe Flacco looked like Joe Swanson, called back to you, last week, and I expect worse. Bears defense allowed 21 combined fantasy points to all the Green Bay wide receivers. Nope.
But yet you picked Denver.
Right.
8.5.
Right.
All right. Fair enough.
It's going to be a low score.
Yeah. I think that they're going to get crushed.
Who, Bears?
No, Denver. I think
Really?
I think they're going to get crushed.
Okay.
I don't see them moving the football at all. But maybe you're right. Maybe Mitch Trubisky is that bad and he can't move the football either.
Let's see him breathe in altitude this week 2.
John Ross, everybody's sleeper of the week. Matthew Berry, the worldwide leader. All these people, they love them some John Ross. I actually watched that football game. I'm rolling in it, so I got, red zone, obviously. And what I saw in that game was both of John Ross's touchdowns should have been intercepted. So you're looking at a guy who is working off of an anomaly, who's $500 more than he was the week before. He's everybody's sleeper. He's everybody's darling. I don't see it. I like San Francisco's defense. Unlike Kevin the Kraut, I like Richard Sherman with a safety behind him. I don't think that Cincinnati's going to be able to throw. If you've been watching, then you know I like Cincinnati's tight ends in this game. I don't like Mixon in this game if he plays at all, and I don't like Ross. I think Tyler Boyd plays in the middle of the field. He does well. People who play in the middle of the field do well against San Francisco. People who play on the outsides do not. I would fade John Ross this week.
Hot trash tight end pick for yours truly, Gerard Herron's loving lost boyfriend, Eric Ebron, at $3,800. You know what he did last week? He dropped a touchdown. Good on you. You don't get points for that. He had also 1 catch for 8 yards. Garbage. Titans kept Njoku to 37 yards, but he did have the only Cleveland touchdown last week. Jack Doyle had more productivity last week than Eric Ebron. I expect the same this week. My hate flows strongly in him.
Looks like the clock struck 12 again on Ebron with luck being done. He's back to the Ebron we knew and hate.
It's not true. It's not. I'm telling you right now, it's not true.
Live and die by the Ebron sword.
This is who Eric Ebron is. He's boom or bust. If he did catch that touchdown pass, which he dropped, all of a sudden he's got 12 points, right? 25-yard touchdown pass, he drops it, that's 2, that's 6, that's 8 points. He finished with 1 point, so he would have had 9 points, right? But that's Eric Ebron. That's who he is. He's going to get no points one week. He's going to get 28 points the next week. Eric Ebron is 100% boom or bust.
Against the Tennessee defense, make it go. You have a case for that?
No, I think Tennessee has the best defense in the league this year.
I think the Pats have the best defense right now, but all right.
Okay. All right.
Your pick, sir, tight end.
Coming off a big emotional week last week, Vernon Davis, the ageless wonder with an 80-yard touchdown, won a couple leagues if you played him last week, but this week he comes back down to earth. He plays the best tight end coverage team in the league, the best 4 set of linebackers in Dallas with Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith, Sean Lee. They cover the middle of the field like nobody in football does. I have no idea why teams do not invest in the linebacker position anymore. Teams with good linebackers win constantly, always. Nobody has a better linebacking core than Dallas. And you got Vernon Davis, again, coming off of a big week. You're going to be lulled into a sense of security. But again, he's going to split touches with Reed. He's only a part-time player. He's very expensive in daily leagues, and he's not going to do anything against the Cowboys' front seven. I have an upset alert, Kevin.
Go ahead,
I
hit
have
it.
an upset alert.
I'm all ears, buddy.
I would fade Michael Thomas this week.
I'm all ears.
I would fade.
Oh yeah,
Michael
in L.A.
Michael Thomas in LA. Now you're going to say I'm nuts because he torched them for over 200 yards last year. 200 yards. Aqib Talib did not play that game. Michael Thomas is all underneath passes. If you saw this last week, he is all slants, all ins. There's no deep ball from Drew Brees. It's a high value position, and you have to believe that one of the best teams in the league, with maybe the greatest defensive coordinator of all time in Wade Phillips, has been looking at Michael Thomas, just dumping all over them last year for 200 yards and saying, if there is one guy we are not letting beat us this week, it is Michael Thomas. Everybody knows Drew Brees is a different player when they're on the road. Michael Thomas needs a ton of volume. Going up against a healthy Aqib Talib, I would fade Michael Thomas at $8,500. Huge upset alert. Sit Michael Thomas.
Who do I hate in flex this week? I'll tell you who I hate. Robbie Anderson. Why? Because who's throwing balls to him? Trevor Siemian. And he's going to have Derek Ward on top of him as well. No es bueno. Fade anyone on that Jets offense, especially in the flex spot, next week.
He's also the least tough player in the entire NFL. He refuses to fight for balls in the air. He's never seen a sideline he didn't want to get to.
Right.
Robbie Anderson might actually be my least favorite player in the NFL.
I'd rather have Pamela Anderson.
Beats out Odell?
Yeah.
Look, Odell is Odell. Odell is like if a Visco girl became an NFL wide receiver, okay? Like there's nobody in the world. Malibu Housewives do not require as much attention as Odell Beckham Jr. does, but at least he produces. Robbie Anderson is like this guy everybody keeps talking. He's Robbie Anderson. We're going to get behind the defense with Robbie Anderson. And then what are you going to do with it? He's the kid from Little Giants that can run as fast as he can. He needs to stick him. Or what is it? The Replacements, right?
Yeah.
It was Orlando Jones back when he had a budding career.
Cute. All right, sleepers. We're going to make this a quick one because Aaron already hit this one. John Brown, $5,200. He had 123 at a touchdown against the Jet defense. This is also, he plays this week the Giant. He has the Giants who couldn't cover a brony convention. Bronies are fans of My Little Pony.
Okay, fair enough.
Basically, their day jobs are like high school guidance counselors. That's my guess.
Kev, I did the exact same thing. My first sleeper is actually your cold cash. I love Ty Williams going up against Kansas City's depleted secondary. Give me some of that Tyrell Williams. Sweet, sweet Tyrell Williams this week.
John Brown can be had for $5,200, which is what 10 beers at Giants Stadium cost. This is a bargain, unlike going to Giants games.
Give me some of that sweet, sweet Derek Carr money. Oh, Derek Carr, a sleeper. How could you? I don't like Big Ben. Kevin doesn't like Russell Wilson. Where are you going to go for a quarterback this week? Give me Derek Carr. Looking efficient, looking confident, looking fast in that John Gruden offense. Who knows? Maybe we have another Rich Gannon-esque career revelation coming out of Derek Carr, but I absolutely loved his mechanics. He was moving around in the pocket. He was very athletic. One of the things, if you watched Raiders games over the last 3 years, you saw a very stagnant Derek Carr standing there, looking downfield, praying somebody would get open and then getting smashed. Not last week. I absolutely love what they did against a tough pass rushing defense in Denver with Von Miller. First read, second read, dump or run. If that's the type of efficiency that you're going to get out of Derek Carr all year, you're going to see big-time points.
Second sleeper for me, Tyler Boyd. Remember all what I said last week about the Niners secondary being trash, giving up 32 touchdowns and 2 picks? Cincinnati threw for over 400 against Seattle, and now they have San Francisco. 11 targets for Boyd last week, despite Ross making more of the moment and getting lucky as all hell. But don't forget, Cincinnati's chili is still goddamn awful. Tyler Boyd, $6,500. Get him on the sleepers.
I like me some Brandon Cooks next week. Brandon Cooks, it's a crowded wide receiving core out there with the LA Rams. Everybody's got to eat. You got Woods has got to eat. You got Kupp's got to eat. But Brandon Cooks is going to be going up against the number 2 in New Orleans. And who is the number 2 in Orleans? Eli friggin' Apple. I'd rather have Snapple Apple out there, Kevin. I hate Eli Apple. Their safeties are bad. They got one really legitimate player in that secondary, and that is Marshawn Lattimore. Lattimore plays this side of the field, which is where Robert Woods takes all of his snaps. Give me Brandon Cooks this week in a high-scoring game out in L.A.
Final sleeper for yours truly, Marquise Brown, $5,000. See above all the reasons I said playing against Arizona. That's my handicap. Pretty damn simple.
My favorite player in the NFL is my last sleeper, and I love to do this. This is why Josh Rosen is sitting the pine in Miami, because he did not know that he had an all-time great lining up in the slot for him and didn't feed the beast. Kyler Murray proved not to be such a dummy. In week 1, he fed the beast. Over 11 targets to Larry Fitzgerald, throwing the ball downfield to him, especially in overtime. I love Larry Fitzgerald this week. High volume. Kyler Murray moves around. He extends the pocket. Larry Fitzgerald knows to come back to the quarterback. I don't like Arizona on the year, but if you like what you saw week 1, expect more of it, especially as Kyler gets more comfortable in the pocket. It's going to be a lot of Larry Fitz, and Fitz is still up for the task. I like Larry Fitzgerald as a sleeper, especially in PPR this week.
All right, guys, I have to interject here. I feel like it's almost criminal if we don't name this guy as a sleeper. He's $4,700 on FanDuel. Mecole Hardman, the rookie wide receiver in Kansas City. He's filling in for Tyreek Hill. I expect him to do major numbers, with the focus being on Kelsey and Sammy Watkins, and, of course, their running back in McCoy. I think that Mecole Hardman has a great opportunity to exceed that value of $4,700 and go off. Pick him up in all leagues if possible.
Not a bad call. I'll buy that. Not bad. I like how you said McCoy instead of Damian Williams, which makes me scared because I have Damian Williams. It's my second round.
Well, McCoy had 89 yards.
8 yards per carry.
I know.
So it's not looking too great for Williams.
It's all right, though, because Williams got every touch inside the red zone.
He did.
He got every red zone touch.
He did score a touchdown, too, by the way.
He got a receiving touchdown. Guys, patreon.com, fantasy football, jibber jabber. Check us out. We'll see us live next week for more live Q&A. Kevin Goatee, Gerard Herron. And remember, you'll see us all the social medias for the whole live show in its entirety. Check it out. But we love you in the meantime. Thanks a lot. And share for the love of God. Follow us on social media.
Take care.
See you later.